Coming up next, it's the mid-engine Italian-American exotic from the 70s. Ford's Pantera is classic car and driving. The road to the Pantera began when Alejandro de Tomaso introduced his Mangusta in 1966. The stylish mid-engine model was built in De Tomaso's factory in Modena, Italy, but it was powered by a highly modified Ford V8. It was an independent effort, but the combination was attractive to Ford. 3 years later, De Tomaso wanted to expand his model lineup, and Ford wanted an exotic image car, so the two companies partnered for a new design. De Tomaso hired American designer Tom Jarda to draw the new car, and Ford sent over their engineers and their newest V8. The first cars rolled off the assembly line in February of 1970, wearing the name Panther, but Ford preferred the Italian pronunciation, Pantera.
It was, as I recall, a very early example of a mid-engine car. It was right in there with the best performance cars of its day in Europe, in terms of being a sexy kind of boulevard GT car.
Brock and his fellow editors described the car as a bargain, writing, "It has both the excitement and the goodness ratings that, up till now, you had to pay $25,000 for, and they are folded into a $10,000 package." That package was a true mid-engine design with just 2 seats ahead of a new 351 cubic inch Cleveland V8. The hot-rodded engine came with ported cylinder heads and a beefed-up valve train and cranked out 310 horses and 380 pound-feet of torque. But for all the cost in the modified V8, the most expensive part of the car was behind the engine, the German ZF transaxle with its 5-speed manual combined with the differential. The Italian styling and American muscle combined for a top speed of 145, with handling to match from the fully independent suspension. To try to manage the horsepower, the Pantera wore the tires of a pro street car, narrow tires in front, but huge meats in the back. The power, the rubber, and the lightweight monocoque construction resulted in quick performance times, 0 to 60 in just 5.5 seconds.
What you see is essentially the structural part of the car, the roof and the fenders and the engine bay. These sheet metal panels are all the frame that you had. These provide the strength and the structure of the car.
But while the design saved weight, rust could be a problem for the monocoque construction. Other complaints included the odd placement of the instruments and high noise levels in the cockpit with the engine right behind the seats. The Pantera wasn't perfect, but it was a bargain. Unfortunately, the dealers didn't know how to use that opportunity. Ford had Lincoln Mercury dealers trying to sell it, dropping an exotic Italian in the midst of luxury car salesmen and aging luxury car buyers.
I just didn't know how to sell it. Mainly because it was casting pearls before swine. Do we dare say that?
That's exactly what happened. Nobody was accustomed to looking for their Italian exotica at the sign of the cat, as it were.
Nonetheless, sales sputtered along as enthusiasts came looking for the car. But year by year, toughening federal safety rules and tightening emissions controls drove costs up. By 1974, a Pantera was less of a bargain, with the price now over $11,000. The Pantera had not been a major success, and in '74 Ford pulled the plug, leaving De Tomaso to continue on his own, producing a few cars each year on into the 1980s. But 1974 closed out the era of the Pantera, the bargain-priced Italian-American exotic that was, for a time, as close as the nearest Lincoln dealer.